In today's video, we will be having a closer look and compare all the different mobile monitors that I have in my office. Here we have the MobilePixels Deux Plus that I have two of. We then have the Ofiyaa P2 Tri Screen. We have the Kwumsy P2 PRO. We have the Intehill QLED 15.6 inch monitor. And we have the Eviciv 15.6 inch monitor. Which of these monitors will be coming up on top? And how are they comparing in terms of weight, price, and pros and cons? That is what we will be taking a look at in this video. If you want to buy any of these monitors or watch the reviews I made of each one of them, they will be linked down in the description below, so have a look down there if you want more info about each monitor. I will not be going as in depth in this video as I'm usually doing in my review videos, so please have a look at each review if you want more in-depth information. The first monitor we will take a closer look at here is the Ofiyaa P2 Tri Screen. The Ofiyaa is a pretty bulky setup, relatively thick, but it has a great attaching solution to mount onto any laptop. However, it's a little harder to mount it on bigger size laptops. It has two USB-C ports, one for monitor and one for power in, and the power in forwards power onto your laptop if you only have one USB-C port that has both monitor signal and power. If you don't have two USB-C ports, you have an extra HDMI port that you can use for monitor signal, but then you need to power it with an extra power cable. The Ofiyaa is a pretty heavy piece of equipment and weighs in at 1,241 grams. Adding on the included cables, it weighs in at 1,296 grams. Attaching the Ofiyaa to your laptop is a very easy process. It comes with these clamps, and the only thing you do to attach it is pull out on each side so that it snaps in place with a little spring onto the laptop. Basically, you just put it on like that. It's gonna snap in place, and then you can fold it up. The monitors then come out on each side and connect with one USB-C cable in each monitor. Here's the thing, the screen size of these monitors are only 11.5 inch. And 11.5 inch is just quite small when it comes to a mobile monitor. I didn't see it as such a big problem when I was first testing these out, but after I've been trying different alternatives, I really see that these are a smaller alternative, even though they come in as quite heavy and bulky. And that is also one of the main cons of the Ofiyaa. It is very easy to connect to your laptop and easy to attach to your laptop, and therefore it's a pretty likable machine, but the size to weight ratio is just not cutting it for me after using it for some time. The price of the Ofiyaa is $399. When you are folding the Ofiyaa together like this, it always sits with the glossy screen up. So one screen will always be exposed like this. They do include a pretty decent felt bag that you can carry it in, but it is pretty much required you carry it in this so that you don't scratch up your screen completely. On top of that, it is also delivered with some pretty nice USB-C cables. Because they have this angled end on one end, I really like using this cable. I've ended up using this cable for most of my USB-C monitors, not only the Ofiyaa. The next monitor we will take a look at here is a 15.6 inch Full HD monitor that I got as a very cheap option from Amazon. This one is called Eviciv 15.6 inch portable monitor. This monitor is with a stand that also works as a protection for the monitor. And as you can see here, it is a matte Full HD screen we are talking. It has some on-screen display controls on the left-hand side together with a headphone jack. And on the right-hand side, it has one USB-C port for monitor signal, one USB-C port for power in, which then forwards into the laptop. And then it has one mini HDMI port, so not a full-size one. It has these rubber feet on the bottom, and one of them has been falling off, and the other one is about to fall off as well. One of the really big cons of the machine. This guy weighs in at 1149 grams, and together with one USB-C cable that you need to connect it, it is at 1184 grams. There is no actual mounting involved in using this guy. So you just basically prop it up next to your laptop. But in that propping up is the main issue with this machine. It doesn't really have a proper stand, so it won't really be able to balance at a decent angle, and it doesn't matter how hard I work to try and make it sit at my correct angle, I just won't get it to sit there. But it's just not sticking enough to the surface under it. It's such an annoying setup when the monitor is constantly falling down to about that angle, which makes it really hard to work on in my case. The other thing that I think is pretty bad on this monitor is the fact that the colors and the brightness are really weak. So this one is really weak in brightness, probably around 200 nits when using it connected like this. And it makes it pretty hard to work because the brightness of this machine, the MacBook Pro, is such a nice one. And then you have that one on the side of it, making it kind of impossible to do a dual monitor setup with that amount of difference. So I'm not a fan of the colors and the brightness of this machine. However, there is a hack that you can use. If you connect a power plug to the monitor, instead of having the power plug run into your laptop, then the brightness kicks up a bit. That is what I've been doing to get it to a decent brightness level. The pro of this guy would mainly be the price. This is for sure the cheapest one of the ones I have been buying, and it is coming in at around $200. The next monitor we take a look at here is very similar at first sight, but has all the difference compared to the last option. This is the Intehill QLED 15.6-inch monitor that I was reviewing here on the channel. And this guy, in my opinion, is super nice for its price to weight to size ratio. Of course, it is only a single monitor, but it is an excellent single monitor. Left-hand side of it, we have the on-screen display controls together with one USB-C port for on-the-go power, and we have one headphone out jack. On the right-hand side, we have a USB-C port for a monitor, another USB-C port for a monitor, so you can actually connect two monitors and then switch between the two. And then you have one mini HDMI port. It has the same kind of rubber feet as I was showing you in the previous monitor, although these guys have been sticking a lot better, so they actually do their job in this monitor. It also has a similar kind of monitor stand, but it has that little cut-out piece that actually makes it work a ton better and sit in place where I want it to sit in place. And you can actually adjust it like that, as you can see, and it will stay at the angle where you want it to stay, which is a pretty big deal when it comes to a monitor with a built-in stand like that. The Intehill QLED comes in at 1036 grams. Together with the USB-C cable it needs to run it, it comes in at 1071 grams. There is no separate mounting for this monitor, it is just to put it up in place like that, and as you can see it is sitting at the angle where I want it to sit. Connecting it to the laptop is as plug and play as it gets, but keep in mind that the Intehill only has monitor connectors on the left hand side, and this is an on-the-go USB-C port, so this cannot be used for monitor signal. With the 14-inch MacBook Pro, that is a 3:2 aspect ratio, together with the 15.6-inch 16:9 aspect ratio, they are pretty much the same height, which makes it very easy to work with them side by side. This guy also has an excellent brightness level, as you can see right now, and the brightness level together with the color accuracy of this guy makes it a very, very nice mobile monitor setup for me with all the different kinds of work that I am doing on the go. It is coming in at a price of $239, which I also think is a pretty good price for what you're getting. You can use it with all the different devices and it is super plug and play. It has the best color accuracy and the best brightness of any of the monitor solutions that I have been trying, and it is less bulky than the triple monitor setups that I have been trying. So this is one of my true go-to devices in this category. The next device we will have a closer look at here is this guy, the MobilePixels Deux Plus. And as you can see, this is a bit of a different solution because it comes with magnets for attaching it. And this was something I was a bit averse to at the beginning, but when I had the magnets on my laptop, the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7 Pro, it really worked well to just snap this guy on and then bring it along. It is a super lightweight option, and I am actually not sure how they were able to make it this light. I really like the weight to size of this monitor. However, the materials that give it that low weight also make it feel a little bit flimsy at times. As you can see, the monitor is hidden on the right side and slides out to the side like that. But if you want it to come all the way out, you have to pull it a bit more, and then you can angle it, and that's where I feel that it actually starts to get a little bit flimsy in that hinge solution right there. These magnets that are covered up in white are the ones that attach to your laptop, and then it snaps in place when you put the monitor on the back side of the laptop. It can also be used without putting the magnets on the laptop, and that is how I'm going to show it today, because I don't want to put the magnets on my MacBook Pro 14. The weight of one MobilePixels Deux Plus is 671 grams. When putting a second one on there, we get 1,293 grams. This guy requires 2 USB cables to be able to run it, and when we put the 2 USB cables in place, we get it to weigh in at 1,364 grams. This monitor has a very basic connection setup. It has one USB port for monitor in and one USB port for power through. And that is only for putting power into your laptop. On the back side here, you have a middle button and an up and down for using the on-screen display. One of the simple ways you can use this monitor without attaching it to your laptop is to just fold it up and use it in portrait mode like this. I usually work a lot with my computer screens in portrait mode, so I really appreciate having this option. You can also, of course, put it down like that and run it as a sort of stand for the monitor to not have to use the magnets. If you attach it to the back of your laptop, there is the possibility to add on a second screen with just attaching it magnetically to the first screen. However, I didn't find this to work super well, and the flimsiness of the hinges was just amplified when using 2 monitors at the same time. So I ended up using mainly one monitor at a time with the MobilePixels Deux Plus. One pretty cool thing with the MobilePixel Deux Plus is that it comes with a cable that can also connect with USB-A. So if you don't have USB-C on your laptop, you can just flick on this little adapter and it will connect with USB-A. And that works actually really well with no significant lag to it. So that's a great option if you are not having multiple USB-C ports available. The MobilePixels Deux Plus that I was testing comes in at around 260 euros currently. And it currently has a sale on it and says that it's $399 originally. However, I think that the regular price is around those 240, 50. However, I think the regular price is usually around those $250, $260. This is just for one monitor though, and given the quality feel, I think it's a bit overpriced. Especially if you want to run a triple monitor setup, it's gonna be a very expensive product to buy for you. The last one of the bunch is the Kwumsy P2 PRO model. And this one is also available on the market, called Ofiyaa P2 PRO. And I honestly don't know why they are 2 different models and what's the story behind that. So I can't answer any questions regarding that. But I have been testing this guy, and it is a pretty good setup, although it is very, very heavy and bulky. So the thing here is that you have 2 13-inch monitors, and you have still a pretty big bulky bezel like that. But you only have one USB-C port to power both of the monitors. So this is done via DisplayLink, and this is a different setup compared to most of the monitors that I have been showing you before here. DisplayLink requires a software, but the software installs pretty easily on both PC and Mac, and after that it is just quite easy to plug and play it. But it is not plug and play right at the first use. This guy has a very basic cable interface with one USB-C port for monitor, one for power in, and then it has a memory card reader that holds the drivers you need for it. However, these USB-C ports are sunk in quite a bit, which means that you need the cable that it comes with to be able to properly run it. One thing that I find super annoying when there is a need for proprietary cables. This guy comes in at 1,692 grams. Together with its pretty annoying proprietary cable, it comes in at 1,730 grams. So by far this is the heaviest monitor solution that we are trying here. The Kwumsy P2 Pro has a super easy solution for setting it up with a laptop. By pushing the button up top here, you release this spring, and then you are able to mount it right onto your laptop and just push it together to be able to sit at the right size. If you have a thin laptop, you might be able to put it up a little bit like that to be able to properly attach to it. But then when you pull the laptop back, it will be sitting here on the sides, as you can see. The Kwumsy P2 Pro also comes with a stand. So when you fold the monitors out like that, this reveals a kickstand that comes out, and then you can detach this thing and make it as long as you need it to be able to properly support the monitor. And then you just screw that in place, and it will hold the monitor in place quite well. When connecting, I sometimes found it hard to know which was which of those connectors in the back. Oh yeah, and since you can see now, the monitors didn't start up. This is what I was doing right now. I was connecting to the wrong USB-C port, and therefore I can't get it to run. So just flicking it over to the other USB-C port, it should be starting up, and then it should be finding the signal over DisplayLink here. As you can see, after a little bit of waiting time, we now have two 13-inch screens on the sides. And these guys have pretty good brightness and color accuracy, and 13-inch is really a lot better compared to the 11.5-inch that we have in the Ofiyaa. If you look aside from the weight and the proprietary cable, the Kwumsy P2 Pro is an excellent monitor solution, and especially for me that have a very small flat with no space for an external monitor. This is a perfect solution to keep in my drawer and just put up on the desk when I need a triple monitor setup. There is no chance I would be able to have a fixed triple monitor setup in my apartment in Gothenburg. The Kwumsy P2 Pro with 13-inch monitors come in at $550. So it is the most expensive product that we are testing out here today, but it has a very good quality feel to it, and it sort of lives up to the price. However, it is expensive, $550 for an external monitor and a mobile monitor solution. So you just have to know whether you find value in paying that much to get a solution like this. One question I get quite a lot is whether you can use a mobile monitor together with a laptop stand like the roof stand, neck stand, or a similar one. And my recommendation is to not use the majority of these monitors with a stand. However, the exception from that is when you are using the MobilePixels Deux and you have it attached to your laptop with the magnets. It is lightweight enough to not actually put that strain on your stand and the strain on the hinges in your laptop. So this is the solution that I would pick if I want one extra monitor on the side while working on the neck stand or roof stand. Let's get into sorting this monitor from bottom to top. Which one is the worst one and which one will come out on the top? Starting out with the bottom tier, we have the first monitor that I bought and the cheapest one. This is the $200 one that I got from Amazon and that I haven't been putting to much use at all. This one unfortunately has too many flaws to live up to even being a versatile and usable mobile monitor setup. Second one on the bunch and next to the bottom is the Ofiyaa P2 Tri Screen. And the reason for this is basically the screens are too small to be able to use it properly, together with the fact that it weighs in at quite a heavy score for being such small screens. This is just a relatively bulky solution that I have actually not been using that much after the trial period I had with it in the beginning. Next up after that we have the MobilePixels Deux. This guy has a low weight, different ways of mounting to the laptop, decent colors and brightness, and it can also be used with USB-A cable if you are lacking USB-C. Next up in the pack we have the Kwumsy P2 PRO. Despite being the heaviest monitor of this bunch, it has some proper qualities to it. It has the best quality feel of all the monitors I have been testing. It has the best mounting solution, and it has two really nice 13-inch monitors that have been working very pleasantly for me when I've been running this in my home setup here in Gothenburg. And the number one monitor for sure in this test is the Intehill QLED 15.6-inch monitor. It has a very decent price level. It has by far the best brightness and colors of all the ones that I've been testing here. And it has that size that matches perfectly with a 14-inch 3:2 aspect ratio monitor. When I am using a mobile monitor setup, 90% of the times it is the Intehill QLED 15.6-inch that I'm running. And that is it for this comparison and top list video of all my monitors in my office. And my first choice is definitely the Intehill QLED 15.6-inch. Which one would you pick? Let me know down in the comments below, and it would be super interesting to have a discussion about what pros and cons you can see between the different monitor solutions that I have been presenting to you. Have a really nice day, and then I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!